All right, good evening, everybody. How you doing? Welcome to the Lowdown on Ridertown. I'm your host tonight, James Larson from 94.1 KRNA, filling in for the Coop. I don't have a deep as voice as Coop, but I'll try my best. Of course, we've got Coach Carlson here, but joining us today, give a big round of applause for Will, Chase, and Adam, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Will, we're going to start with you. What a weekend it was for you guys, and talk about it. 3 victories over the weekend, but let's go to Sunday. What was that drive like going to Green Bay?
Yeah, early in the morning, left the rink at 7:15. Wasn't too bad, though.
Oh, sorry, hold on. This is my fault. I was waiting for somebody to turn that up.
Do you know how to turn that?
I'm not sure how to turn the music off. Let me see if this is one of them. That's not part of my... we do like the tunes, though. Don't get us wrong. There we go. All right, so we'll talk about Sunday. You guys, after the long weekend, you got to get in the bus. What was that like?
Yeah, obviously everyone was kind of tired in the bus, got some sleep on the way there. Roads were pretty good on the way there, not too bad on the way back either. So, yeah, it was a good weekend. Yeah,
it had to feel pretty good to wrap it up there. So, Coach, we start with Friday night. You travel to Madison. You get the first victory of the weekend. How was that game for you?
It was good when you have those 3-game weekends. You want to get that first one for sure. And guys did a good job getting into Madison and getting the win there.
And then the momentum carried in Saturday night. I am told, and how about a round of applause for this biggest crowd of the year at the stable for that Waterloo game. I think there was like 3,800. So talk about the game, a big victory, 2-1 over Waterloo, and I heard the crowd was just crazy.
Yeah, it was. It was a great crowd, and we appreciate all the fans coming out, and our staff did a great job, and it was a very exciting night of hockey at the stable.
Chase, talk about the electricity that night, playing in front of the biggest crowd of the year, beating the in-state rivals. What was that like for you?
I think it's like something you dream of, coming to play junior hockey and have that big of a crowd. Right when you step on the ice, you know it's something special. So I think as a team, we said let's just push forward in the first period, the first 5, and we'll go from there.
And Will, do you ever get nervous when you step out on the ice, when you see all the people, the video screens, everything going? Does it ever make you, get some butterflies in your stomach, or is it just like another day at the office?
Yeah, maybe before the game, kind of in the locker room before we go out, but once you hit the ice, it kind of all leaves you, and you're just playing.
Sure, and there wasn't a whole lot of time to celebrate because, Coach, talk about the transition then Saturday night into Sunday. There wasn't a whole lot of time to do anything.
No, there wasn't a lot of time, and we explained it to our guys in the American Hockey League, which is one step below the NHL. It's so it's basically like AAA baseball for all the baseball fans out there. In the American Hockey League, they play a lot of 3-and-3s, and those guys are prepared to make the NHL. And our guys here all have dreams to play in the National Hockey League and to get the American Hockey League most likely first. And if you want to be a real good player, you got to find a way to be good in those situations. And I was really impressed with our mental toughness and getting in there on Sunday in Green Bay, especially with the 3 o'clock tilt. I don't know how they came up with 3 o'clock, but
right.
Yeah, it was an early departure here out of Cedar Rapids, that's for sure.
So you had to go through the snow then. Did the snow? Did you run into it? Did it follow you? How was it? Were you nervous at all on the bus on a trip like that?
Yeah, I wasn't really that nervous about it. It was nice to have the 4 points in the bank already, that's for sure, with going up to Green Bay. And we there was quite a bit of snow before we got to Madison. We stopped in Madison, did some fine dining at the Egg and I.
Yeah, very nice.
On the way up, and so it was a little slow going for a while, for sure.
Well, let's pass the microphone over to Adam here because he gets to talk too. But guys, I want to talk about winning 4 in a row. And I've been around Coach long enough. It's always one game at a time. It's always looking forward to the next game. But we'll start with you, Will. First, what's the feeling like to win 4 in a row? You got to feel great.
Yeah, it was awesome, especially at the end of the weekend. Adam got dumped on by a Gatorade in the locker room. Me and Hammy dumped it on him. So yeah, it's awesome.
Now, does that happen a lot, or is that just celebrating a big victory or 4 in a row? What constitutes the Gatorade in the locker room?
It was probably the weekend sweep. Probably constituted it for sure.
Very cool. And Adam, you haven't said anything yet, but why don't you introduce yourself to everybody out here?
Yeah, I'm Adam from Sweden.
All right, Adam. Now, the guys were joking that they said you got a great haircut. But why are you covering up your head? Everybody, don't you guys want to see it? Yeah. I think they want to see it.
Yeah.
Oof. That's a good. Why? What? No, guys, you were joking with them. What's wrong with that haircut?
Terrible.
Terrible.
He's getting caught. So we're doing like a voucher if anybody has any coupons for like Grey Clips or Sports Clips. You can bring them
Feel
forward.
free to send them
I'll
up.
take it.
I'll take it.
All right, Adam. So just a couple of quick questions for you. You got somebody over here? Oh, we got a voucher over here. So, Adam, living in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, from where you grew up, how different is it? Is it like the complete opposite?
Hard to describe, but little different it is.
Yeah. And what do you miss about being back home?
I don't know, family maybe.
Yeah. Is it warmer or colder here?
Pretty the same, I think.
Yeah, I think it does get some cold weather over there. So these guys, I'm sure, joke with you. And Chase, we'll ask you. We'll pick on Adam a little bit. But what's he like on the road? Is he a normal guy like the rest of you, or does he got some weird quirks?
I'd say he's a little different, but he's a good guy all around. Good buddy of mine.
Well, it seems like this group is really is really getting tight, and that's important. Now, I believe there's 17 games left in the season before we start the playoffs. So, Will, how do you keep this? And I'm sure Coach has talked to you in the locker room, but how do you keep this vibe going and this streak going and just playing good hockey? How do you keep it going?
Yeah, obviously, I think we've been playing with a lot of energy lately, and if we can just keep that up, it'll help us the rest of the season.
And how have the practices been? Have they been business as usual? Does anything change during a winning streak like this? It's got to become a little more fun probably when you win 4 in a row and you have your biggest night of the year and the fans are out and everybody's happy. It's got to feel good.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think practice has been the same the last couple of weeks, just keeping our head forward for the next game and the next game after that. So, I mean, nothing's really changed over the past couple of weeks.
Now, you and Adam are roommates, right?
No, Will.
Will. Okay. Well, I'm told you guys made a joint purchase.
Oh, yeah.
Me and Chase did.
Okay.
Yeah,
You and Chase did. All right. Well, I'm reading my notes here. They wouldn't tell me anything, but what's this joint purchase all about?
So
I really don't know the story.
We kind of both have our own like summer jobs. I own my own like landscaping company, and he owns his own mowing company. So we decided like we wanted to get like a vehicle to pull our trailer around with.
All right.
So we found this truck. He actually came up with it. We were looking for trucks kind of all over, and we found one in Minnesota. So we had to come to Coach's attention. We're like, hey, there's a deal on this truck in Minnesota. Is there any way we could drive over there and pick it up and then come back? And he said, I guess we didn't really had anybody try that before. But,
Right.
Why not? He's kind of jacked up about it. So.
Yeah. So how's the truck running?
It's actually gone now. We sold it, made a few bucks off it, and then
Okay. You guys are businessmen. I like this. I like this. That's fantastic. Why don't we pass the microphone back to Coach here? Now, Coach, you got to keep this locker room. Forget about the hockey, but you got young kids here doing things like buying vehicles together, side business. How do you keep it all going? The off the ice activities.
Like, how do we keep it in line, you mean?
Yeah. How do you keep it in line with these guys?
Well, I'll tell you just a quick funny story. So they bought this truck and it had a big like spotlight like on the top that you could turn on inside and look for stuff in the woods. I guess I don't know.
Well, it's Minnesota. I mean, I know I've come from up there.
So with the Green Bay game on Sunday, I think it was snowing. I think I left my house at I don't know, it was 5:45 or probably 5:45 Sunday morning, and the snow was coming down, and I'm driving along, and there's this truck behind me with this gigantic spotlight, like giant spotlight, like going very fast.
It can't be legal to be driving down the road speeding with a giant spotlight, I would imagine.
It can't be, and it did cross my mind for a moment. I mean, obviously it would be the percentage would be low, but I'm like, there's no way it can be them at this time.
What are the odds?
I mean, and it was a guy pulling a small tractor to go somewhere and do some snow removal.
Okay.
So that was kind of funny, but it's no. We try to get real good guys and that are disciplined and want to be hockey players and get better, and so we have every once in a while, maybe we have a minor episode where we have to instill some discipline and accountability, but this group's been real good so far.
What are the bus trips like? Like a trip to Green Bay, 5 hours, and I've been on these buses before. They're pretty nice, but what do you guys do to pass the time?
I actually, this weekend, I'm on number 4 of the Fast and Furious series. Kind of just watch a movie. On the way there, it's pretty quiet. And then if we win, like this weekend on the way back, it gets a little rowdy.
Now, does Coach ever have to come in the back and say, all right, keep it down, guys, keep it down?
No.
Never happens.
Not yet.
Never, not yet anyway.
Yeah.
Not yet. And these buses are pretty comfortable, right? Bathrooms in it, TVs. I mean, it's got to be a pretty nice way to
they're
travel.
nice buses. Yeah, I like them.
Now, Jason Shainer's hoping in the next couple years we're going to start flying to the events, is what he said. Flying to each city. I don't know if that's true or not. Yeah, maybe we'll get a Cessna. Maybe we'll have Tammy fly the plane or something like that. So, Coach, we turn our attention now to Dubuque this weekend. Is there a game before that? No, Dubuque this weekend is the next game coming up on the 23rd. So, what's the strategy going into that game?
Yeah, we've moved past last weekend, and we've talked to the guys today and told them we're really proud of how they're working and improving. And now we're on to, the next series here. So we've played that team a number of times, and really just want to focus on ourselves this week and improving. And we got an opportunity for some guys to step up a little bit more because we've got a few more guys out of the lineup, and good opportunity for some more guys to impact the team.
Looking at the schedule, guys, you play all over the Midwest here. Is there a particular city that you like to visit on the road? Maybe a rink that you play, an arena you play better at, or maybe a place that you don't like so much? And we'll start with whoever wants to go first.
Yeah, personally, I kind of like going to Waterloo. I mean, it's a loud crowd every night, and they pack it, so it's super fun to play there.
And sometimes those fans, though, the ones wearing red, they can be a little loud, a little vocal.
Yeah.
There's some words that we can't say on the radio, but that's what makes it fun. A good rivalry like that, I think it's great. The fans get involved, and obviously you guys love, playing in those big games. But Chase, is there a venue you really don't like going to?
I mean, maybe Dubuque. That's about it, though. I mean, I think they're all fun to play. You get hyped for every game, so there's probably a rink I don't like, I guess.
Yeah, and I think we're very lucky, and I know sometimes I sound like a homer when I say this, but I've been involved with this organization off and on for quite a few years now. And, Coach, I'll let you talk about this too, but I personally think, and I'm not just saying this, that we have the best fans in the league because I've gotten to know a lot of the fans, and I've gotten to know them personally, and they take this sport very personally, and they take this team very personally, and if you ask me, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, I agree, James, and I think we are really fortunate to have the fan base that we have. And I've been in, a lot of arenas all over North America, and I feel like we have one of the best arenas in hockey, and especially in junior hockey. So we're real lucky to have, what we have, and to have the support that we have, and to have the environment that we have, and do our best to go out and work our hardest every night.
So as we move forward, guys, for college and beyond, if there was a professional team out there, Will, what would be the team that you would want to play on? For me, I was a big Minnesota Viking fan. All I wanted to do was play football for the Vikings and not win a Super Bowl like the rest of the team. But as far as the rest of the players, but as far as hockey goes, what would be that team that you would want to land with?
Yeah, it'd probably have to be like the hometown Minnesota Wild. My dad was actually at a Wild game like when I was born.
No kidding.
Yeah, so yeah, it would sure be the Wild.
Well, I grew up in Minnesota too, and we called them the North Stars back then. Okay, it's a little different, but how about you, Chase? Who would you want to play?
I'm from Minnesota too, so probably the Minnesota Wild.
The Wild. And how about you? Grab that microphone, Adam.
I think Pittsburgh Penguins.
Okay. All right. Well, Coach probably likes that over on the East Coast. So the guys told me now before we started, I talked about going to school and getting, doing hockey in school, and they talked, Coach, about going to school online. Now, you can really go to high school now online? Explain that, Coach. I've never heard of that. I knew you could take online college courses and things like that, but I really didn't know you could go to high school on the computer. We never had that option.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a different option, and it's becoming more and more common. And there's some teams in our league that's the only thing that they do, but we like to, kind of leave it open. And we've got two at Washington and one at Xavier, and we got you're online, right? We do have an online participant in the crowd here this evening, and so it is becoming more and more common.
Now, guys, is it hard to balance working, online school, buying vehicles with spotlights on it? How do you balance everything?
Yeah, I think, like after hockey, when you get home, you have to put some time away to get your studies done.
And I really want to talk about your housing parents, too. Are your guys' housing parents in the crowd? And why don't you give them a shout-out? Because, again, being around this organization, it is so important to have those housing parents. So we'll start with you, Chase. Why don't you introduce your housing parents here?
This is my built mom, Brooke, and my built dad, Chase. And
Give a round of applause, guys.
And then Brandon, Levi, and Livia.
Okay, very cool. And how about you, Will?
My billet mom, Tanya Moffat, and my billet dad, Dan, didn't make it tonight.
Round of applause. And Adam, I know you don't go back and forth from Sweden, so where are you staying?
I have same like Franny.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you guys are roommates.
Yeah.
All right, well, you got to tell me a story. Is this guy snoring all night? What goes on?
No, not really. I can't really think of anything.
There's a pizza story, I'm told.
Yeah, Dan makes homemade pizza.
Oh, really?
It's really good. Yeah.
Nice. I'll have to come over there sometime. So what do you guys do for fun? We got school, we got hockey, we got your jobs. But what do you do for fun in Cedar Rapids, Iowa? Because it's been a long time for me being 18 years old in this town. What do you guys do for fun?
I think a lot of guys, we have actually a group of guys that just created a book club to go read books.
No, you're joking.
Not kidding. We have a lot
Did
of
you
guys.
say book club?
Yeah. A lot of guys just go to movies on Sundays
Sure.
and stuff like that, or day off. And some guys will just go out to eat after practice and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, and then I'll ask the question because we just got an email from Fred and Swisher. Do the guys have any girlfriends? Why don't we start with you?
I have a girlfriend from back home, so.
Oh, so she's
Nothing here.
What part of Minnesota are you guys from?
We're actually from the same
Yeah,
town.
same town.
What's the name?
Lionel Lakes.
Lionel Lakes.
Yeah.
And how about you? Any girlfriend back home or a girlfriend here?
Neither for me.
Okay. And I know Sweden, that would be a little tough to have that long distance relationship. But how about you, Adam?
Yeah, I have. In Sweden.
You do? Oh, boy. Wow. Well, luckily we've got, social media now and FaceTime and things like that. It would be very expensive. Back when Mark and I were your age, it would cost us about $100 to have a phone call to Sweden in the middle of the night if you missed your girlfriend. So, guys, anyway, thanks for being good sports about all this. Moving forward, playoffs, we got 17 games left. What are you guys thinking right now in your minds? Is it just one game at a time? What's going through your thoughts here as we wrap up this season here at the last stretch?
Yeah, I think we just take it one game at a time, and obviously we want to win every game and put ourselves in a good spot come playoff time.
And Coach, I know that's what you instill in these guys. I mean, it's ever since first time I ever met you, you never really celebrate the victories too much. You always want to move on to that next game and that next strategy session, and that's obviously very important to you.
Yeah, I mean, we celebrate them, a little bit behind closed doors, and sometimes break stuff, and
stuff
inside, and so we can't go any further than that.
Yeah, I did hear the story, but I'm told that we don't want that. Yeah, I'll stop right there.
So there's sometimes these things happen, but we do make sure that we celebrate them, and then we've got to move on and have a plan, and very much day by day and game by game, and that's what we've got to do here moving forward to our next game is concentrate on that one, and then our real simply, I mean, our goal is to win the next game.
Now, do you guys ever do any fun activities together where it's like, all right, no hockey today, we're going to get everybody together, go to a movie, or maybe we're on the road? Do you ever do those fun things that are just team-building exercises?
Yeah, we do. We haven't, it's been pretty busy lately. The guys have done some dinners, though. And
we had the Super Bowl party.
Super Bowl
Oh,
party.
cool.
Bowling as a team.
Were you guys happy with the outcome of the Super Bowl? I'm sure Coach was.
Yeah, I mean, Minnesota wasn't it, so
I know, right?
I
I hear
about
you.
the games.
Last year was our chance, okay?
Exactly.
And there's no reason we shouldn't have been in that game, but that's for another show, I guess. We'll go with that. But guys, let's pretend Coach isn't sitting here right now. What kind of guy is he behind the scenes, in the locker room, and on the ice? So plug your ears, Coach. But really, what kind of guy is Coach Mark Carlson?
We'll have Adam start with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pass the microphone over. Who wants to not play this weekend? By the way, I think your haircut looks great. I really do. Give him a round of applause. I think the kid looks fine. It's a good-looking haircut. So what is Coach Mark Carlson like behind closed doors? Who's the guy that we don't know? Tell us what he's like in the practices and in the locker room. You can be honest. It's okay.
Good coach, funny, Seriously.
So he's funny. Does he tell some jokes when we're on there? Is he kind of a jokester?
Yeah, I guess like here and there there'll be a couple of good jokes. Yeah.
Here and there. Tell me a funny coach story. There's got to be one, and it's okay, guys. He's not gonna be mad, but something that's not too bad, but just something that maybe happened on the. Did he slip on the ice? Has that ever happened?
Nothing yet.
No, but yeah, I'm trying to think. Nothing's happened on the ice.
Now, does he ever strap on the skates and get in there and play with you guys and play hard? Does that happen?
No, not
Coach, come on, man. Why not? You're an old hockey player.
I got the skates on, but,
Yeah.
it depends. I get in there a little bit from time. I've gotten underneath a few sticks in front of the net this year.
Well, it sounds like you guys have really, you play hard, but it sounds like you have a lot of fun. And I think there's something special about this year's group. Wouldn't you say, guys? I think there is something special, and we're seeing it. There's just a different vibe out at the stable these days. And I think we're seeing that with the amount of people that are showing up at the games, and it looks like, we're getting good success. So I think the biggest thing is just to keep that going as long as, this team can, and I think you guys definitely have it in you. So before we wrap up, we got about 7 minutes left. Why don't we take a few questions from the crowd? And these guys are an open book, so whoever wants to go first, just go ahead and raise your hand, and then I will reiterate the question once you say it. So who's got the first question? Anybody? We'll go over here. What do you got, Jordan?
I remember the one day Coach was at the ice. He's like, "What are you doing out there, Fran?" He's like, "We're just doing a talent show."
A talent show. Do you remember that, Coach?
There might have been something along those lines.
Well, I'll tell you a story once years ago. I was out. We would do interviews in between the periods, and the score was, I think, 2-1, and whoever was ahead, I think we were ahead 2-1, and they had just scored a goal before we went to period break. So I go out there, and Coach hated these interviews. I said, "All right, Coach, you're ahead 2-1. How do you feel?" "Oh, well, they just scored, so I don't feel very good." And I remember that, and it taught me something as a young broadcaster. Always look at the stupid scoreboard before you say anything about the score. But I remember those years when this team first came to town, and I remember how we built this. When I say we were all part of this. We all got involved, and it's great to see that Coach Carlson has been with this team from the beginning all the way until right now. How about a big round of applause for that? And I guess in wrap-up here, we got about 5 minutes to go. So what I want you guys to do now is ask Coach a question. So I'll let you think about it. I'll stall a little bit, but you can ask Coach any question you want, whether that's his favorite pizza or his favorite movie, his favorite football team. But I think it's good for the fans to get to know our beloved coach from the East Coast, Mr. Mark Carlson. So who would like to go first?
I can start. What's your favorite book?
Your favorite book? These guys in the book club, I tell you what. When I was 18, I was not in a book club, I'll tell you that. I'd probably be making a lot more money if I would have been in a book club. But your favorite book, sir? When's the last time have you read a book?
Oh, I've read a lot of books. Yeah.
Okay.
I've read if I had my favorite. Well, I can just go with one of my favorites, and it's in my office, is Francona. Terry Francona was, I think it's called The Red Sox Years. And a great book. I always tell all my coaching buddies, it should be recommended reading for anybody that wants to get involved in the profession, because the stories in it are absolutely amazing.
I've got a question for you, Coach. You're obviously the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders coach, but we have some great coaches right here in Iowa, talking about Fran McCaffrey, Kirk Ferentz. Have you ever had the opportunity to sit down with either of those two, or Lisa Bluter? How about Lisa Bluter and what she's doing with that women's basketball team this last decade? But have you ever had that opportunity to sit down with any of those coaches? Or I could even include the Brands brothers in on that too.
I've often thought about doing it, and I just never have gotten around to it. But it's something that I would like to do at some point. And Fran's actually from, as you probably know, he's from Philadelphia, originally. So I kind of enjoy that. And same thing with the Colonels. Every summer I say I'm going to get over there and meet with them and maybe hang out a little bit and watch their preparation and, maybe get lucky, sit in the dugout or something.
Yeah.
And I just haven't gotten around to doing it, but I would like to, though.
And you're a baseball fan, too.
I do like baseball, yeah.
Yeah. We're obviously Twins fans, right, guys?
Oh, yeah.
Another tough year for the Twins. Just, I don't know, being from Minnesota, we just don't have a lot to cheer about. But I do remember 1987 and 1991. You guys probably weren't born yet, but I still have my Homer hanky on the wall. So we got time for one more question for Coach. What do you got?
Who's got the best nickname on the team?
Who's got the best nickname on the team? I like this one.
That's solid.
That is real solid.
The best nickname on the whole team. I'm trying to review all of them.
While he's thinking, I will say the pizza here is fantastic. Yeah. Look, they're bringing in more pizza. Doing a radio show in the morning, sometimes you got to fill. Best nickname is the question.
Yeah.
Does Coach have a nickname? He might, right?
Big Dog.
The Hammer or something like that.
Big Dog.
Or actually, our strength coach, his nickname is the Hammer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's not here this evening, but the best nickname.
Well, maybe we'll come back to that one, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think. There's, we have a whole bunch of them, but I don't know. I mean, I've kind of been. I don't know. I don't want to say. I'm not sure. I don't know on that one.
He's not gonna. He's gonna plead the fifth on that one. So,
in wrap up, got another question.
Yeah, one more question.
No.
All right.
Well, let me. What do you guys think the best nickname is?
I like the Big Daddy Dre. I think that's hilarious.
Which one?
We have a kid named Andre, and he's from Russia, and a kid at school gave him the nickname Big Daddy Dre.
Big Daddy Dre.
Yeah, I think it's pretty.
I like that.
I'll weigh in with this. Like, I don't know if it's the best, but I do like E, as simple as it is. I mean, it's one letter, and you just yell. You can yell. It's very easy to yell.
Right.
In practice and during games, and I yell it a lot.
Right.
And he's right over there, so there's E.
E.
I mean, I mean, you can just go E. It's pretty good.
Yeah. We always had those friends that wanted to pick their own nickname, and I said, you can't pick your own nickname. The nickname just has to. You just have to get a nickname. But all right, folks. Well, that's going to do it for the Lowdown on Ridertown. But I think what we should do before we go, I don't care who does it. It can even be Coach. But all these folks that come out here, this is a great crowd here this early on a Tuesday night. First of all, give yourselves a round of applause for coming out early and supporting Rough Rider hockey. But I think what we should do right now, guys, is say thank you to these people.
Sure.
The fans are what keep this whole organization going. All the fans in the USHL. So I'll let one of you guys just kind of take the floor here and thank all these fine people for bringing their families out here. And while we're at it, obviously thank those host parents as well.
Yes. I just want to say thank you for my billets coming and all you guys. We really appreciate it. And keep coming to the games. We love seeing you guys there. Keep being loud. Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much, guys. Lowdown on Ridertown. Thanks for coming out. Enjoy your pizza. It's James Larson for 94.1 KRNA. So long, everybody.